prosecutor. Amanda, I want to start with you. You apparently spent quite a bit of time with these girls. I've spoken to you a bit. You've told me this is not something you would ever contemplate doing. Surprise. Did you appeal to them sort of woman to woman and ask, once you built a rapport with them, and what did they say about their choice to do this?
I guess we did develop a rapport. I spent about a month with about a dozen women here in New York City, sort of talking to them, talking about their motivations and what led them to this work. I mean, it really seems to me to be the face of true desperation. They're graduating from college with a lot of debt in this terrible economy, and, that their kind of regular paying job isn't enough to pay these bills and pay off this debt.
Well, Amanda, you said something really interesting. You said this kind of work, that as though this is work. So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked at the opening. How is this not sex for money?
Well, it absolutely is sex for money. I mean, these websites get to exist in this kind of legal murky gray area, whereby sex isn't specifically exchanged for money on these websites. But of course, a little reporting and a little bit of digging reveals that sex absolutely is exchanged for money. The one caveat, though, is that it often accompanies, companionship and time spent together and going to the theater and having dinner. And then it gets far trickier in terms of prosecuting.
That's interesting. Now, we have one of these, as I said, we're calling them sugar babies. It's Nicole. Nicole, how did you get started? How did you find out about this? What were you hoping to accomplish?
Well, a girlfriend told me about the site. She had used it to help pay for books when she was in school, and she knew that I had bills to pay, and I actually prefer to date older men, so she thought this would be an excellent way for me to kill two birds with one stone.
But I can't, Nicole, hold on a second, I can't sort of take this at face value. You must have considered other ways to pay your debts, or you might have just gone out and dated older men. I understand this. Help me get my head around it. I mean, let's put it this way. If you were my daughter, I would not be happy. You're obviously having to shroud your identity. Help me understand what you're up to.
Sure. Well, there's a particular reason why I shroud my identity. I understand that it's a controversial topic, so I don't need any negative attention in my home neighborhood. I'm young, so I'd like to have my life ahead of me and not have to think about, how other people's opinions will affect me. But why I chose this particular venue, obviously I can pay my bills other ways, and I do. I have a real job, I'm a real person with a real life, and I do pay my debts with my own money, but it would just take a lot longer. And I can pay all my bills by myself. I'm entirely self-sufficient, but it doesn't leave a lot of cushion for fun. Yeah.
All right, I understand. Did you think about stripping, which is the old, back in the day, I've heard this story a million times, where women go, oh, I'm just doing this because I got to pay for college. Stripping used to be the old-fashioned way of doing it. Did you ever think about that?
No, I don't see myself as an adult worker. I don't see myself as a sex worker in any way.
Fair enough. That's my question. All right, Brandon is the president of this company. You developed this entire site.
Yes.
So what were you thinking? What were you up to? Did you expect it to go this direction? Tell me about it.
Well, I certainly don't expect it to go in the direction of where the media is taking it. SeekingArrangement.com is a website about forming honest, brutally honest relationships. I started the website because I was having trouble dating women on Match.com. I would spend hours writing hundreds of emails waiting to get response. I would get very few. And then to turn those into first dates was really, really tough. Then one of those things that my mom told me when I was growing up, I didn't really actually have a girlfriend until I turned 19 at MIT. And she said, well, study hard, focus on getting A's in school, and when you finally are successful and have money, the girls will be waiting in line. That's really what Seeking Arrangement is all about. It's for me to date beautiful girls.
For you, Brandon, to date beautiful girls? That's what
and guys like myself who have six-figure incomes, it's important to note that unlike sugar daddies, the term that people are used to, the sugar daddies on SeekingArrangement.com average about 35 years old. These are younger guys who are successful, who's willing to help. We're not talking about an exchange of money for sex here. That would be prostitution. We're talking about money in exchange within a relationship. Now, that's okay. Dating a wealthy guy is not wrong.
No, I understand what you're saying, but should you maybe vet these women more so their motivation is screened out? It seems like they see it as just a way to pay their bills, and if that's their motivation, maybe these guys are getting sucked into a relationship. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, by the way. Sucked into a relationship that is improper.
We cannot vet people for being honest. You can't go to Match.com and find a profile where somebody is saying, I'm in debt, I need help, I want the following things. You know, I'm in trouble, or I'm looking for a man who's going to treat me with